Hey, welcome, all my right thinkers. Thanks for tuning in to check out your boy, P-Fall, thinking right out here in the lab where I do what I do for you. I got some nice for you today. We about to get into right thinkers. It's gonna be some fun. We about to go to school today, so let's do what we do. Rightism, 25 rules live by. Storytelling, story with a message. There's the message in the story for life. I give life lessons. You tune in and receiving them. I appreciate you. We got a good thing going. Let's do what we do. Right Thinkers mission, and that's what I'm on, is to enlighten, inspire, educate, and motivate you, the individual, to a higher spiritual level of enlightenment. Right Thinkers way of life through mental and spiritual discipline practice daily will help and guide you to obtain your goal of spiritual enlightenment, aka know thyself. My mission, and that's what I'm on, is that all right thinkers know thyself. If you're a right thinker, your goal is to know thyself. So you see where I'm going with this? So I asked the question, do you know you? It's rhetorical, but if you have an answer for yourself, tune in. I can help you with that. That's what I do for you. A person who knows not that they know not, is foolish. Disregard them. A person who knows not and knows that they know not, it's simple, but you can teach them. That's why I do what I do for you. Appreciate you too. Stay tuned. I got more for you. A person who knows not and believe and think that they know is dangerous, avoid them. I do. A person who knows and knows not that they know is spiritually asleep. I can awaken them. I'm the spiritual alarm clock here to wake you up with knowledge of self. A person who knows and knows that they know is wise. Follow them. All these persons reside in you. Right thinkers, know thyself, and always, to Maya, be true. Right thinkers, let's talk about, these are the ingredients, okay, for what? For my, what I call spiritual gumbo. It's in my philosophical concept, but it's a Buddha philosophy. So let's talk about the philosophy of the Buddha circa 600 BCE and see how it pretty much mirrors right thing philosophy out of the Egyptian philosophical concept. So let's talk about this. Matter of fact, let me show you something right quick. That's called the Buddhist wheel. Okay? And you see on there, it's 8 slices to the pie, or 8 steps to get to nirvana. What they call nirvana, we call nihas. The philosophy that they use to get there is pretty much mirrored to ours. I'm going to break that down for you. Should be interesting, and I know very informative if you're into gaining knowledge and understanding. So, right thinkers, let's do what we do. The philosophy of Buddha. The Buddha, or the enlightened one, developed a philosophy. Again, these are all philosophical concepts that if you practice and manifest, it becomes a truth for you because you did what the philosophy said. And that's the blueprint. You follow it. They try to build a house. You follow instructions. You build a house. So it's all philosophical and conceptual. But if you, once you learn it, master it, manifest it, you'll be the beneficiary of it. Okay. So they developed a philosophy, that's based on ideas which existed. There you go. They didn't make it up. Previously, in what? I gave you the breakdown for the Jain philosophy, which they got from the Egyptians, and also the Upanishads. We just got finished talking about them. Buddha recognized what? That the many people took the teachings to extreme. What he recognized was they was getting a little overboard with their philosophical concepts, meaning what? The teachings such as nonviolence. Okay, we get that. Would stress what? Not harming any creature. Were understood by some as what? Not moving so as not to step on insects, ants, bugs, or not breathing without covering their mouth so not to kill insects or microorganisms. That's extreme. Yeah, that's taking it too far. Prior to Buddha, you had other teachings such as those of the Brahmins. We just talked about them. And again, you got the sannyasa. All these is what they call renunciation philosophies, where one was supposed to renounce the apparent reality as an illusion, which they call the Maya, this world they call delusion, and were taken to what? They took it to the extremes again, wherein what? Wherein some followers would actually starve themselves to the point of death. Tibetan monks would go into the lotus position and go into meditative state and actually die. That's the next level up. They look at it as not dying, but the physical body did, but they went into that state where we all go to anyway. They just knew how to get there in this form. I ain't mad at them. I can wait my turn. I enjoy living every day and doing what I do. I ain't got no problem. I'm not going to just meditate myself into the next level. So, no, I get a few minutes every day. That's good enough for me. The Shaolin monks. When you go to become a Shaolin monk, that's extreme. Okay? They make the body a weapon from head to toe. Even after it's mad, they can let you kick them in the... but yeah, some things you can take to extreme. Okay. Some people like extreme. I ain't a thrill seeker. Moving on. But they would do it to the point of death in order to what? In order to achieve, you ready? Spiritual experience. When you go into the meditative state, you just using this. Everything else don't really matter. And they will go there and stay there. That's where we go after that. They figured out how to do it, so understand it. That's extreme. Again, they found mummies or they found statues with a real person inside it, where they just cover them up in gold or bronze, whatever they cover them, and he's in there forever. So understand that. They knew that the mind state was another level, and they really took it again to the extreme. But you have others who became what? Deeply involved with what? The intellectual aspects. That's knowledge and wisdom philosophy. Endlessly what? They have questions. Where did I come from? Okay, now the Buddha was the wise man, the enlightened one, so his job was to answer the questions. He sit and they come in, they throw questions at him, and we call it interview. Okay, whatever. But yeah, conference or whatever you want to have it. But yeah, he would field questions to answer. Sadhguru would do it all the time. Who put me here? All these questions. How long would I need to do the spiritual practice before I come enlightened? These are all questions. Where did Brahman, aka God, come from, etc.? Buddha saw all the errors in the way in which the teachings were understood and set out to what? Reform what they call religion. He saw the flaw in the problem in the teaching, so he decided to change it. Okay? Buddha emphasized attaining what? Salvation rather than asking so many damn questions. Okay, excuse me. But he likened people who ask too many questions, intellectual questions, to a person who what? Who house or life, example analogy, is burning down while they ask, how did the fire get started? Instead of what? First worried about getting out, saving themselves. Further, Buddha saw that what? Renouncing attachment to worldly objects, again, things, objects. But before I go here, I'm going to hold that for a second. I'm going to put the pin mark right here. But Buddha said worldly objects was not necessarily what? A physical discipline, but more importantly, they considered it was a psychological one, and therefore what? You created a philosophical discipline which explained the psychology behind what? Human suffering. I'm going to put a pin right there because we're about to answer that question and how to end that suffering. That's why I'm going to stop right there. Because one of the students asked the Buddha, why do we suffer? Is that you're going to get to that next level. But I'm going to break this down to Buddhist word for you right quick. I got some little fine print. I got one other glasses. These are more bifocals, so I can magnify them little bitty words. There we go. Now, let's talk about the Buddhist will. In much the same way as the term the Christian use Christ, it refers to what anyone, okay, understand it, anyone who has attained Christhood, aka knowledge of self. We call it knowledge of self, nihas. They called it nirvana. Christians call it Christhood. It's all the same thing. Okay, I just tell you every philosophy, all the roads lead back to the same place. So I hope you understand that. And the term Buddha refers to, again, anyone who has attained the state of enlightenment. We call them Akus, enlightened beings. So we always understood that. Now, in this context, what we have, they have been many. Again, there have been many what? Male and female Christs. Not just Jesus. No, we have many. And it was male and female. How about that? And Buddhas throughout history. You can have a female Buddha, you can have a male Buddha. You can have a female Christ, you can have a male Christ. Everything that you can have intellectually or spiritually go for both sides. It ain't just a one-sided deal. So when I hear the Christians say that women can't go in the pulpit, I don't even deal with that. But let's deal with the 8 slices. Let's break it down. And see, the thing with the circle, you can start anywhere on that wheel and end up in the same spot once you walk through all of them. So self-mastery to them, meaning with practice and understanding the philosophy and manifesting it for yourself through intellect and understanding. And that's the best way. What? Experience is the best teacher. I give you a lesson, you experience it. So let's pick up where it says, how do you stop in the suffering? A philosophy which emphasizes dun, 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 dun. Whenever I hear balance, I go straight to Maya. That's what it comes from. When I hear duality, that's Maya. Whatever they call it, however it is, I know the origin and the concept of it, so I understand. Again, when they say balance, I go right to my scales. And rather, watch this, rather than the extremes. Remember, Maya, not too much this way, not too much that way. Equal balance of understanding there's 2 sides to a coin. So once you understand that, you understand when it goes up, come down, it's going to either be one or the other. You don't know until it happens. That's the present. So, but imbalance meaning you're going to live and keep your life in line, so to speak. Watch this. And what happened? He recognized that the extremes was causing mental upsetness. Agitated, we call it, because one extreme does what? Lead to another. Chasing that dragon, that something you're looking for, okay? That's the extreme, and the ignorant people do that all the time. So therefore, mental balance, using both hemispheres, left and right. You got 2 for a reason. I'm just going to use one. Nope, using both. Using mental balance was the way to what? Achieve mental peace. Again, got to use them both to get the best results. This psychological discipline, meaning mind, you controlling the ideas that's coming to your mind, will become what? The noble eightfold path, which you just saw the pie, the circle, which was later adopted by who? The Indian sage Patanjali, and developed into what they call 8 major yoga disciplines of Indian yoga. And this set in motion of the will of the law. First of all, let's talk about the noble truth. The first noble truth is of suffering. The noble truth of suffering is the reason for all suffering, according to them, their philosophy, is participating in the world process, meaning getting caught up in stuff in the world. Okay, losing yourself in the distraction of the world, wanting this, wanting that, desire this, wanting that. So you caught up. Okay, no balance. And the reason, and guess what? When you get what you want, you're happy. When you don't get what you want, you're sad. That's suffering. Moving on. You can't have one without the other in the physical form. One is unhappy. Why? Because one invariably expects. There you go. When you set your expectations, you expect to what? Find happiness. Where? in worldly things or people. Set yourself up for failure. That's the first thing right there. They got that part right. I agree 100% so far. Now let's talk about what they call the noble truth of what? And the cause of suffering. The noble truth of the cause of suffering. They say the cause of suffering, you ready? Again, on point. Ignorance. Avidya, in their term, it means ignorance. Sound familiar? Lack of knowledge, same thing. Not knowing or believing. You have a fundamental misconception about reality. Again, ignorance. I see no other single hindrance such as what? This hindrance that we know of is ignorance. Obstructed by which mankind for a long, long time runs on, round and round in circles. Or Boris, the hamster wheel. You doing exert injury, but you're going nowhere. Gotta understand that. That's the truth for what? That's one of the causes of your suffering. That's what they're trying to explain to you. The noble truth of, here you go. There we go. Now they gave you the problem. Now here's the solution to the problem. The noble truth of ending suffering, which is what? The end of suffering, are you ready? Is spiritual enlightenment, aka they call it nirvana. In the circle, they showed you all roads led to where? Nirvana, aka we call it nihas. Okay, knowledge, self-knowledge. Okay, spiritually enlightened, meaning you know God for yourself through what? Your own experiences. Watch this. Now, the end of suffering and the way to nirvana is what? The basis of the Buddha's teachings. Right, think of philosophy, my whole goal is to get you to know thyself. They get you the same thing, using different format, different formula. But again, that's why I call it spiritual gumbo. It's philosophically different, but the same. Okay, but the right batch, right this, you gotta know to use a tablespoon or pinch. Okay, a lot or little, just for the flavor. A chef and a master knows that. Most people don't. That's why they ask for the recipe. How do I do it? You put this, you put that. I'm telling you, you got to put this in your spiritual philosophy. Why? Because it's something else you need to have at your disposal. Why? Because it works. If you practice it, it'll work. Watch this. Perfect example. The Noble Eightfold Path. The Noble Eightfold Path is what? The practical means to what? Disentangle the knot of ignorance and illusions of this world. This physical is temporary. The body's going to run out. Okay, so this is not eternal. This is just a passing through, a phase. And once you get enlightened spiritually, you'll understand that. So death, you don't fear no more. Why? You don't die. The body just goes out, run out. You get a new one. Okay, simple as that. If you are ignorant, you're going to reincarnate. If you are enlightened, that's the way. And that's what the whole purpose for every philosophical, religious concept is, to get you to wake up to who you are so you can go back home where you come. Moving on. Let me wrap this up. I see the clock. Oh, Lord. Okay, no, we good. I'm in a good place. Good place. Should be all right. Now, where we at? The Noble Eightfold. Okay? The Noble Eightfold Path is the practical means to disentangle the knot of what? Ignorance. Watch this. First one is, no matter where you start in the circle, it's okay. Ain't no one place. They start with what they call right understanding. Ain't nothing worse than what? Misunderstanding. My man Jerry Butler and Lee Eggers had a record, Ain't Understanding Mellow. If two people on the same understanding, that's mellow. That's harmony. Okay, understand that. Two opposites working together as one. Heart, mind, coherence. Right understanding is what? Learning how to see the world as it truly is. It don't get no better than that. I tell you, when you see people, you see them. If what they say don't match what they do, you already know what kind of person they are. Simple as that. Understand that. See who they are, not for who you think or want them to be. See the world the way it really is. That's the third eye opening up. But the third eye sees the spiritual aspect of yourself, and you can dictate and pretty much see what other people ain't looking at. The eternal them spiritually. Right thoughts. And understand all this is going to be right title. You know, I like that. Right understanding leads to what? Right thought. When I was in battle for the right thinking name, I had to go to right thoughts. So yeah, you see me some shirts, I want to say thoughts. That was my backup if I couldn't use right thinking. So I won, so I'm using right thinking. Right thoughts with the backup. Okay, moving on. Again, always be able to do what you got to do. I'm going to get my message out one way or another. The title and the name don't really make a difference. All right, I'm back doing my right thinking. Appreciate it. Love it. Right thought is what? Understanding that thought has great power on oneself and what others, and that whatever one focuses on gains what? More life. One becomes it. We are what we think and believe we are. That's the philosophy. They're saying the same thing. Whatever you focus on, again, I told you, whatever you put your focus on, that's what effort gonna go. That's where energy goes. And if your focus is wrong, you're just gonna give a bunch of energy going wrong. That's what you're going round and round, going nowhere. That's the concept. The Ouroboros, snake that bites his tail. And the reason is, once I just saw a thing a few weeks ago where there was a white snake, a vital snake. They put a white mouse in there. He don't get the mouse. Well, he was moving, he moved. When he go to get the mouse is right there by his tail. He ends up missing the mouse and bite himself. And when they bite, their fangs go in, so they can't let go. So they continue to eat themselves. That's the concept of the Ouroboros. Quick lesson. I saw that. It was too funny. And sometimes they end up doing just that. And they can't stop. That's the funny part. They keep their teeth. They can just keep going. So they eat themselves and regenerate again. That's the concept of the Ouroboros. But now, with right thought and understanding, you can do right speech. AKA speak Makaru from the heart, honest, straightforward. Right speaking, or right speech, excuse me, is knowing what to say, okay, how to say it, when to say it, and even when what? To remain silent when not to say it. I'm getting better at that also. Again, things that you can hold yourself accountable to, you know if you're good at it or not. So anybody got to tell you, well, you ain't good at this. You know, you should be able to tell yourself. Why? You should be checking yourself. I put myself to the test every time I go through this and see where I lie on this, see how far I am in or how far I'm away from what I need to be doing, what I think I'm doing. Okay, so I'm on point. So far, so good. And right speech leads to what? Right action. Selfless service. What I'm doing right now, this is my right action. Guidelines for what? Controlling. I'm trying to teach you how to control one's behavior and allowing calmness of the mind with knowledge and understanding to pursue enlightenment. I give you all those things in my lesson for you to do. That's what you need to be doing. Get them, using, and manifesting for yourself. Now, we got 4 or 5 things they talk about that you should not do. These are the don'ts. No intentionally taking the life of any creature. Thou shalt not kill. That's the concept. But sometimes they took it, again, to extreme. They want to put it in context. Balance. Maya. Not taking anything which is not freely given. Thou shalt not steal. I have not taken something that don't belong to me. If I come into a place and whatever's there when I get there will be there when I leave there. Simple as that. Moving on. I don't steal. Not indulging in what? Irresponsible sexual behaviors. Semen retention, young men. Semen retention. That can save your life. Moving on. Why? If you don't have unprotected sex, you can't become a father. Okay? You can't contract the sexually transmitted disease that now is for life. So you got to be careful. That's all I'm saying. Moving on. That's been in for a long time. I just put it out. Okay? Man on man, woman on woman, not a good thing. It's only pleasure that gets nothing done. It don't reproduce nothing. Moving on. physical pleasures. That's all that is. That's irresponsible sexual behavior. Okay, not speaking falsely, abusively, or maliciously about others. Talking behind somebody bad, negative. If you talking to me about somebody that we know pretty much, and you probably say the same thing about me. They talk about the same people. Y'all do the same thing. You do that to everybody. If I'm with you, you're going to talk to me about somebody else. If you with somebody, you're going to talk to them about me. Those kind of people, don't be them. That's all. You can't control them, but don't you be them. That's all. Again, I tell you, if you don't know somebody like that, moving on. Last one, number 5. Not consuming alcohol and drugs. That's a definite, that's poison. Simple as that. I sold it. I used it. I don't do them no more. Simple as that. It would be asinine itself, just self-defeating to claim something. And then I know people who's in recovery. They end up dying of OD. Moving on. That's, again, reality of the situation. You can fake the people out, but you can't. That's it. Bottom line, reality. Number 5 of the 8-fold path is right livelihood. There you go. I can't hang out with the people that I used to hang out with when I was doing those things. Why? We don't have the same thing in common no more. I don't do those things. That's the difference. And right livelihood is what? Making a living in such a way where you don't harm, but you benefit oneself and also others. I went from selling drugs to delivering packages in the UPS truck. Okay, so change, different things, different livelihood. And you want it to be what? Productive for you and others. That's a win-win. Moving on. Number 6, right effort. If you put your best foot forward, you give it your 100% best effort, you can't fail. Failure is not an option when you put right effort. And that is right effort is determination and perseverance in one's spiritual discipline to what transcends from one's lower nature to rise to be better. That's what makes you aspirate. You aspire to be better, to do better. If not, I'm not your man. Why? Because you ain't want what I'm doing. Why? I'm trying to help you. If you don't want no help, I ain't your man. Moving on. I don't need that. Okay, no problem. I can't help you. Moving on. I want those who want. I got. Number 7, almost home. Hang in there. Yeah, I see the clock. Right mindfulness is learning what? How to be aware what? Of everything that's going on around you at all times. Not acting automatically or reacting to what? Events as if an animal. Again, before I react, I'm going to think about it, contemplate about it. I'm not just going to, nope, why? Did that early, and it's always worked bad for me. You always end up doing something wrong and having to apologize for what? The wrong action that you did based on what you thought, what you felt at the time. So, right mindfulness is being aware of what's going on and staying what? Under control. Okay? Stay cool. Maintain. When I got in trouble, whenever I wanted to go that place where I just wanted to maintain my cool, acquiesce to the situation in life. That's what they call by right mindfulness. Last one, number 8, right meditation. Y'all call it prayer. A lot of people are prayer, but I don't do the prayer thing. Why? Because prayer, you're asking. Prayer, you're doing the talking to your higher self, which is fine. And I do that too. I pray for the people. Moving on. But when you're meditating, you're getting downloaded information from God. If you do it right, that's what they call communion with the higher self. Why? You go to another place. And right meditation is a way what? To transcend, to raise your conscious level, to get to the next level out of the physical world, the astral plane where the body don't exist. Now you just got all mental. When you transcend into what? The higher form of what? Consciousness, thinking, understanding, comprehending. That's the goal for right thinkers. And our philosophical concept, which is knowing thyself, they telling you the 8 ways to do the same thing. They lay it out for you. We just went through it. Hope you understood it. Hope you enjoyed it. That's the lesson. So, again, in closing, these compromise successful levels of what? Introvertness. These are things that you do for you. And through them, you have what? You reach the state of joy because you kept balance, mayat, equanimity, and right mindfulness. That way you're thinking all the time. You're in control of your actions at all times. No, I thought, no, my bad, no, no, I call that Monday morning quarterbacking. Reacting to a situation badly and then realizing it was bad after the fact. No, react to it with respect, understanding, and right mindfulness and right thinking. You won't have to worry about it. Why? Do the right thing, do what's right by you. You don't worry about other people say or do. That's the lesson. Hope you enjoyed it. Again, in closing, right thinkers, may y'all live to be 100, me 100 minus a day. So I never know that. Right thinkers like you have passed away. I'm out.